Here we'll talk about how to prepare your slides for your presentations. You want to make sure that when you're doing your slides, and if you're going to pass out handouts and things like that, or to your participants in an online environment, maybe you have a slideshow or presentation that you want to make available, make sure that the images that you're using in your presentation support the handouts as well. Prepare your slides that reinforce the directions to your learning activities, for example. And prepare slides with questions to process or debrief learning activities and promote interaction. So in that way, students later, your learners, can take some of those ideas that you may have presented and then look at the questions that you might have on your slide and be able to process and work through those and how they might integrate it in their situation depending on their environment, place where they're students or the content that they're teaching about. And so those can be effective. In the way that you prepare your slides, you want to make sure that you consider those types of things. And also that when you're doing your slides, that landscape-oriented slides they're easier to use and easier for your learners to see than a portrait-oriented slide. So just go up under your file and your page setup and select the portrait. It's just an easier orientation for those that are viewing the presentation. You want to make sure that you limit the number of slides. You don't want to have 20, 30 slides, and make sure that your font size is readable. Typically, the literature will say things like 32 points. I've seen 28, 32. You don't want to be gigantic either. You don't want to go too big. And then whether you're using all caps or caps and then lowercase, just like you would in normal writing, consider all those things as you're putting your text on your slides. You'll also want to make sure that you'll choose one type of slide transition as you're going through a presentation so that you're not doing things that are distracting, that they're getting caught up in the way the slides move back and forth. Those things can, kind of get your audience off track a little bit. And then as far as like the animation for your words, how they pop onto the page, are you trying to wow people with the types of animation that you're doing versus using a standard type of animation for each of your slides with the text on it? These are just some practical things to think about as you prepare your slides, and then also make sure that the number of words on a slide aren't too many. That you've seen some of these slides where they talk about death by PowerPoint, where they try to get so much content on one slide, where really the content on your slide, the words on your slide, just need to be there as prompts. And basically like the outline, point 1, 2, and 3, not the A, B, C, and D many times, or you go to a different slide with the A, B, C, and D. The slide is there just to prompt the presenter with what they're going to talk about and discuss. So you could have a script even, or in the notes area of your presentation that you can use and use that rather than try to put all of that content on one slide. It just becomes so cumbersome even for the audience to look at it. For example, on this slide, preparation of presentation slides, that's it. And then you speak forth the rest.